Hello, everybody, and welcome to the 67th edition of LM's Weekly Wrap, our weekly program to cover the market related developments both in the domestic as well as the international markets. This week was full of action as far as the international developments were concerned. We've been talking a lot about geopolitical tensions, and this week we've seen an escalation of the geopolitical tensions, the sudden flare up in tensions between Israel and Hamas. And I think it will have its repercussions definitely on global scenario. Apart from this, we had a lot of data points which have come from the US, like the US Federal Reserve minutes and the CPI data, etc. So I think Jash will throw a lot of light on all these developments. Jash, please welcome to the show and kindly take us ahead on the global developments, the domestic developments, which will be followed by the sectoral outlook from my side.
Thank you so much, sir. It's great to be back. Before I start, I would like to say that we are having a mega contest on the India-Pakistan match. Please follow Twitter for more information on that, and I hope you all participate in it. Yeah. So coming back to the markets, I'll talk about the Nifty. Nifty went to about 18,800 levels, just touched about 18,800 levels today, and there has been a good amount of pullback over there. And besides the geopolitical tensions flaring up, we saw Nifty being suppressed in the start of the week, but it all was pulled back. On the geopolitical front, Israel and Hamas was a big concern in the start of the week. The whole world is watching how it is taking pace, and especially crude oil. It has a very big impact on the crude oil. Crude oil is at $88 levels. That is a very big watch out for the India, because crude oil being anywhere above $95 is a cause of concern for India, and of course the developing nations over there. Coming to the US side, the Fed had a meeting, and we are expecting one more rate hike, and and the CPI data was released yesterday. That was on the higher side, which has led to the weaker opening of the market. So that is all. Because of that, IT sector is depressed today in the Indian market, but more light would be thrown by Nirav sir on that because it's on the sectoral side. Coming to the Ukraine-Russia war, the war is still going on, and it definitely has a very big impact on the food prices, because Ukraine is a big producer of wheat and other food products. So every aspect of the geopolitical tension has a different impact on the economy and the world. So it's very important on to see where the geopolitical issues are going next. There are big repercussions, but I think the war is happening. The nations are picking their sides up, but we need to see how it goes about, because even the crude oil, the Brent crude, is watching out on how the Hamas and Israel war is taking shape. So we hope that this all subsides soon, and we have a peaceful settlement over there. Coming to the Indian markets have been strong. The consumer sentiment is very strong. We are seeing a 46-day festival period starting October 15th, and there has been a lot of inventory build up for consumable goods, for auto and all of those industries. So I think that's what the market is showcasing this week after the whole suppressed start of the week. The quick pullback was because of that, and more light will be thrown on Nirav sir for this. Thank you.
Thank you, Jash. So yes, as pointed out, that let's hope that better sense prevails and peace prevails in across the globe. And of course, starting off with the Indian markets, in a way we've seen divergent reactions coming from divergent sectors. As we start the festival season, the festival which is essentially a 42-day period, we've come from data from FADA, Federation of Automobile Dealers Association, and they've said that passenger vehicle dealers, they have stocked up 60 to 65 days channel inventory. Now this is the inventory which is typically there, which is being carried by the dealers or automobile dealers. And I think they have loaded up inventory in anticipation of a very strong demand during the festival season, and thereafter, of course, the wedding season. So I think passenger vehicle makers are very, very upbeat about the prospects. At the same time, commercial vehicle makers are also quite upbeat about the prospects, especially the demand which has been coming from coal, cement, and other transportation related sectors. So I think we've seen almost all auto stocks being in the flavor at this point of time. First of all, I think one of the biggest gainers of this week, that is Tata Motors, which is up in trade today. I think we had very strong data coming in from JLR. The outlook for the next couple of quarters looks very, very strong as far as JLR is concerned, Jaguar Land Rover. Domestically also they've been doing quite well. Commercial vehicles has also been doing quite well. Maruti has also been, Maruti is also in the limelight because they also have hinted at some internal restructuring and reorganization with respect to the shares which have been held by Suzuki Motor Company, Suzuki Motor Gujarat. So I think all this restructuring spells definitely good news as far as Maruti is concerned. They're targeting a very strong capacity built up in the next 10 years. So I think Maruti is also doing quite well on that front. The news flows are accurate. We have Escorts Kubota, which is looking at synergistic benefits. As we had pointed out earlier, that Kubota is present in more than 100 countries and it needs a strong product profile so that it can compete with essentially with the Chinese players, Japanese players, etc. And I think apart from this, there's also talk that they might sell off their railway division to a German company. So a lot of announcements are there in the pipeline. We are seeing good amount of MF interest, that is a mutual fund buying interest in Eicher Motors. So there also we've seen good accumulation happening over there. Ashok Leyland having launched a new brand of trucks, so that is also a positive. And as we talk, we've seen Ashok Leyland bag an order for about 1,666 buses, fresh order which has been won, as we discuss at this point of time. So we're seeing all kinds of news flows in the auto related sectors, and we are seeing a good amount of MF interest in two-wheeler makers also. So I think one of the biggest interest we are seeing is in Bajaj Auto, Hero MotoCorp. As we already pointed out that Eicher Motors is also attracting good amount of interest in TVS Motors. So almost the entire auto space is in a positive arena. And as we have pointed out that if auto does well, then auto ancillary can't be far behind. So we've seen good momentum in tire stocks. We've seen TVS Sri Chakra move up in trade. We've seen CEAT move up in trade in run up to the results. And JK Tire, which has been a very smart performer. This has been our LM weekender stock, and this stock has moved up from 150 levels from the price we recommended it. It's almost doubled. More than 300 rupees is the current price of the stock. So I think patience definitely pays, and a good amount of interest is what we have seen in JK Tire. It's done exceptionally well in the trade. The next category is banking. Banking, we've seen some amount of pressure in the markets. Today there's been an UBS report which has indicated that bank NIMs are likely to come under pressure. We've indicated this earlier also, that with the cost of funds going up substantially and a lot of competition in the deposit mobilization has become more expensive. Naturally the NIMs are going to be under pressure. NIM means the net interest margin. So I think banks have come under a lot of pressure, and typically what we tend to see when there's a fall in the markets, the most vulnerable are the PSU banks. So this is what we have pointed out earlier, and we continue to point out even today. Third is capital goods. Capital goods continues to do very well. We are seeing capital good makers continue to be in good light. Yesterday we saw some very good action in Bosch. We saw some very good action in Linde India, Ingersoll Rand. A lot of companies where there's a good action, and we've seen that capital good makers, FIIs have shown a lot of interest over there. Same is the story with infrastructure. Infrastructure story continues to be very, very strong. We've seen back-to-back orders being won by L&T, and the stock continues to be in a very good space. Now, what's faltering? I think the sector which has faltered is the IT sector. IT and banking, they have faltered the most. In the case of IT, I think there have been disappointments written all over, whether it is Infosys, TCS, and HCL Technologies. I think trimming of guidance, revenue guidance has been trimmed. Secondly, they're non-committal about the H2, that is the second half, whether the demand is going to revive at that point of time. Order book has been strong, but headcount has reduced, and we all know that it's a human resource driven industry. So I think markets have taken this negatively. So IT sector has been under the hammer for some time. As far as the star sector of this particular week is concerned, I think investors have been singing to their way to the bank. Basically, it's all about minting money in metals and mining. So mining stocks have been on a song. We've seen some very good momentum in Coal India, GAIL, and the big winners like GMDC, NMDC, MOIL. You name it, and all these stocks have performed. Government is going to come out with a new lithium exploration policy, and they have set the royalty rates also 3% for lithium and 1% on the rare earth elements. So I think this is just the beginning of the story as far as the mining space is concerned. So a lot of definitely a lot of things to look forward to as far as the mining space is concerned. As we have pointed out, that government has been doing all the heavy lifting as far as infrastructure is concerned. Government has been very proactive in the railway space. We have seen today announcement of two Navratnas status. One is RITES and the IRCON. Both have got this, and both the stocks are up very, very smartly in trade. Of course, helped by Railtel and the related railway stocks. So railway continues to do well. We are very upbeat about that story. This is the start of the earnings season. I think a few numbers have been announced. HDFC AMC or the likes of HDFC Life. Lackluster numbers. Some numbers have been in line with expectations. And I think during the weekend we will have numbers from HDFC Bank, DMart, etc., which will give us an idea about how the other sectors are behaving. Overall, I think the sentiment continues to be strong with the World Cup fever catching up. We are seeing media stocks also perform well. Realty has performed exceptionally well. We've seen realty stocks do exceptionally well in trade. We've seen stocks like Godrej Properties, Century, Raymond, or the likes of Suntec Realty, Prestige Estates in particular, and all these stocks have done very well. Phoenix Mills, all these stocks have performed very well in the market, and we've seen positive updates. The best ever quarterly performances by Soba or the likes of Macrotech developers, etc. So I think there's no dearth of good stories in the market. Picking up the right stock at the right time matters. We've identified in our weekender, we have identified stocks like Arvind Limited or SJVN or IEX or Coal India at 234 has convincingly crossed the 300 levels. So just the idea behind this is keep the faith and follow the fundamental stories and invest in a rational manner. That's about all which I have to state. And finally, I think do write to us with your comments on our show, how we can better it, or how what more additional inputs we can give or add value to this. And with this, I hand over to Jash for the concluding remarks.
Thank you so much, sir. And I would like to thank everyone. And also, please check out our new product called Stacks. And for more update on that, you can visit our YouTube channel and Instagram page where you have videos where there is more information on that. Thank you.